from Indus Age, we would like to begin by asking when and how did the idea of establishing the Vishwa Buddha Parishad come into being?
Thank you, Indus Age, and thank you, Nidhi, for asking for this interview. It's my pleasure to talk to you. So, this whole idea of forming the society came into being in the late 70s. I guess the year was 1977. So, the founder, Mr. Vatsayan, thought of reaching to the masses as he felt, being a Buddhist himself, he felt that the principles, the teachings of Buddhism was lost along the way. It all began, Buddhism started from Bihar, but over the period of time, it lost its essence. And especially to the masses, it was just restricted to, few elite. So he thought of opening a society which could reach out to the masses. And the best way to do this was through education. Education is the best platform. So this society was established with the vision to promote peace, culture, and education through Buddhism.
How was the idea of this model transformed into a successful one, and how has it expanded so widely today? Can you enlighten us more about it?
It got transformed into a very successful model it is today by the sheer passion and hard work of its secretary, and of course the teamwork. I feel for any organization, of course the leader is a must, and he needs to guide and he needs to show the direction, but also a good team is essential, and it's very, very important for the success. With a clear vision and with a clear mission, right from the leader to the last person in the organization, it is been explained, and together we all work towards its goal. So that's how it is a success that we see today. And Sir, he worked relentlessly. A few of his quotation, he used to always talk about discipline is the key to success. That was his favorite quote. And he would always say that man is the, architect of his own future. So it's all, whatever you want to be, you can achieve it, provided you are motivated, you are disciplined to do it, and you have a lot of perseverance. He believed in not procrastinating anything. He always would say, do it now. One doesn't have to wait for the right environment. How a lot of time you feel, this is not there, that is not there. There are several reasons we give for not doing a thing. But he would always say, look for things. Look for the positive side. Look how you can begin. With limited resources also, if there is a will, we can always find a way. So that's how, with this kind of mindset, with this kind of grit and perseverance, he moved on. And along with him, we all progressed, and we saw a great growth of the society.
Many educational institutes have been formed under this banner. Which were the first institutes, and how many institutes are there since the first one?
So the first institute which was established under the aegis of Vishwa Buddha Parishad was Sant Moggallana High School. And after that, many various institutes were opened, primary schools, high school, colleges, vocational training centers, technical college, BA training college. So it has been a very successful long journey with lots of institutes which took shape and running successfully today. Institutes are located in Patna and in Bodh Gaya. And for the expansion plan, we have our office in Delhi. Also, we are thinking of opening a old age home and an orphanage. These are the two ventures which are in the expansion plan.
Many of the colleges have been handed over to the government of Bihar, such as the JD College of Women, among others. Please tell us in detail more about it.
Yes, the institutes which were taken over by the government, actually they were handed over to the government, and now they are the constituent unit of the government of Bihar. So out of that, one is JD Women's College, a very popular college for women, which is not only famous in Bihar but also outside Bihar. So this was one. Then came Kamala Nehru High School was taken over. JD Women's High School, and here I would like to add that our Secretary Sir, way back then, he was always ahead of times. Then he thought of empowering women. Now there's a lot of talks about empowering women. He thought of it then, that to educate girls, to educate women, because he always believed that when you educate a girl, you educate the entire family. So he considered it very, very important for the society to promote education amongst women, to give empowerment to the women. He even opened vocational training centers like tailoring back then, so that housewives who were at home, so they could learn something, they could do some earning, and this vocational trainings were done. They were given certificates. They were even given.
There is also an NGO that is being run under this Vishwa Buddha Parishad. So please tell us more about that.
Yes, a family NGO. His children has formed. His children, his sons and daughters are settled all over the world. And they thought of opening a family trust, mainly to reach out to do social work, and basically, for the next generation. So the beauty of this family foundation is that even the grandchildren of Mr. Vatsayan are involved in it, and many of them are working, some of them are still studying. And so they all contribute, and a lot of work is done. It's just started. It's quite young still, so it started 2 years ago. The main idea was, the main person behind it was Mr. Manish Vatsayan, and he thought of it and he discussed it with his siblings, and everyone got excited. Said, why not? And lately, we have done, during this COVID period, a mass distribution. Over 2,000 masks have been distributed all over India. And, tomorrow we are, there's another drive. So we are doing a blanket distribution.
Celebrated as the foundation day of the Vishwa Buddha Parishad, as it commemorates the birth of its founder, Ram Avatar Vatsayan ji. So how did the organization celebrate this day, and if you wish to add more to it, please go ahead.
Yes, 19 January every year we celebrate it with a lot of enthusiasm, and we all look forward to it because it's our founder's birthday. And we celebrate it as a Founders' Day. Everyone, all the college's staff, teachers, everyone, members of the Parishad, we all get together. It's a joyous moment and day. So usually we have a cultural program, we have motivational talks, we eat together. Sometimes we go for picnics. So this year, we thought of, in spite of the norms, we have to keep it low-key because of COVID, but yet we had a beautiful celebration where lots of wishes came in for Secretary Sir. We had our virtual meetings with the teachers, with the students, and a few of us got together and we had a short program, and we had lunch together. So this is how it was celebrated, and Sir was excited and he was very, very happy. He gets very happy when he sees people around him, because he's been such a social person, always ready to mingle, always reaching out to people wherever he traveled. If he knew anybody, he would call, he would make it a point to go and see them, he would call them over to his house. His house was always open for people, always filled with guests throughout. Anybody was in need, anybody who wanted a place to stay, he would open his home for them. He said, "Come, stay with me as long as you all want." So his house was always open for people, and he loves being around, he loves to help out. So that is one of his very, very beautiful quality that he has. And I hope, and this is what he instilled in his children, that is what he has instilled in his students, to be open, to reach out, to be of help, to be compassionate, to work together, to be positive, and never to pull each other down, but to promote. So that's how, with this thought in mind, every year we celebrate his birthday as a Founders Day.
How do you look at the education sector today, and what all things still need to be done to make it better?
I feel in the education sector, we really need to reach out in the rural areas, even the technology. So what we observed, even during this past 1 year, it was the rural children. Their studies really got affected. The urban children, of course, with the help of the technology, they could continue with the learning and teaching process. But it is a rural area where we have to reach. It is them we have to uplift. The education has to reach to them, and that is what the Parishad has, has it in plan, to reach out to the deeper, to the rural areas, so that those children can also benefit. Those children can also come up and build their lives. And my message to the youth is always to be positive, be compassionate, and be open to learning, have an open heart, have a listening ears, and along with you also think for the society at large. Just not think about yourself, but also think about others. So if you do that, half of the battle is won. If you do that, the society will never be at risk. So have a mind that never despairs, have a mind which never admits defeat and crushed by adversity. So always be in high spirit.
Australia's first Indian magazine to have a national reach, Indus Age is the largest circulated South Asian magazine in Australia with 5 simultaneous editions, 55,000 copies printed monthly, 220,000 readers, largest network of clients, undisputed leader in community news. Indus Age is circulated in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane and Perth to over 525 outlets. Grab your copy now to get the latest on the community, news from India, Bollywood, music and much more. For more info, log on to www.indusage.com.au.